This week on episode number 208 of the Convincing Idiots podcast. The new season of Saturday Night Live starts soon. We're excited about that, but we're also excited about the new movie based on SNL coming out soon. We'll talk about that. True crime shows are very popular these days. Perhaps among some of our partners, getting ideas, not so sure, but we'll talk about if we are interested in true crime shows and movies. And some call us some of the great side characters of podcasting, side characters of entertainment in general, if you will. And we're going to talk about in our main segment this evening some of our main side characters, our favorite side characters of our favorite sitcoms. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today,
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
Brian Gen X.
And I am a millennial, and my name is Nick. And this is Convincing Idiots. So welcome. We are a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together here mostly each and every week to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. So since you're here, why don't you do yourself a favor and follow us on all of your favorite social media accounts. We are on the majority of them. You can find links to all of the ones we are available on our link tree. So go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE, and there you can see everywhere in which you could like, subscribe, rate, review, follow, all that fun stuff. You can do all that and so much more, including links to our merch store, ways that you can contact the show and help the show. All of that information is available to you on our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So we are together here for yet another episode 208, in fact, of Convincing Idiots. So it's a very special episode because, well, we've all been together for 2 weeks in a row now. So it's very special. So, a lot of big things are happening. So, Dean, I don't usually start with you, and I'm not going to start now. Brian, how have you been?
I don't like the work.
Good. Continuing the work of setting up the new house here. So, you're in that transition of you had to get back to normal life. So you have to keep up with that stuff, that you're still unpacking and settling into the new area and this and that. So that's kind of where we are right now, but still very much enjoying the place. So setting up the downstairs area here more. Looking forward to having you guys over soon.
I'd like to have you guys over to set up my downstairs area. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. It's a lot of dust.
Knock
A lot
off
of dust down there, I hear. Yeah, that's right. I got a new bar in last week, so I built that on Friday evening, got that put together, got some swivel chairs over the weekend. So, just getting it ready to chill out and entertain and everything else. So,
Nice.
That's been it. Tomorrow, looking forward to celebrating my beautiful daughter's recent birthday. Peyton
Nice. Happy birthday to her.
recently turned. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
24 years of age, which is just hard to get your head around. That's about the age I was like really getting settled outside my parents' house finally.
You were well into your 60s when you had her, too. That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So
24. It seems
we'll be
like just
checking-
yesterday that we weren't invited out for her 21st birthday. Crazy.
I remember that.
I remember that. It seems like
That's
just
right.
yesterday.
Well, we kept the tradition going, and you're not invited to this one either. So that's pretty good.
Respect. I respect it. It's
Yeah.
good.
She's not-
Traditions.
She had nothing to do with us.
Traditions important. Yeah.
We're gonna check out a newer winery in Stowe. I think it's newer, 59 Cellar on Route 59, something like that. So I will tell you guys how
It's
it
a good place.
is. Have you been? Okay, very good. That's it. So, Nick, how are you, sir?
Doing well. Nothing really too fantastical to report. Just similar to you, although I'm not moving into a new house. I'm just trying to gain control of the cleanliness of mine because of the children and whatnot. We've been getting in the Halloween season, and we decorated the inside and the outside of the house this weekend. So that was cool. That's about it. Nothing really crazy. Just played some hockey with my buddies and decorated and trimmed some bushes. And that's about it.
Also, some yard work.
I was gonna say I figured it was a nice little bump set for you guys. Somebody's just waiting to spike it over there. Nice.
He beat me to it.
Dean, what have you been up to, my friend?
Nothing. Let's move
Sweet, convincing
All
idiots. 208. Let's fucking go.
Really? Really. I've worked and came home and worked again. Nothing new. Nothing
Well,
happened. Nothing important.
I did see you at the Oktoberfest actually last weekend.
Yeah, I was
Dean.
working. Like I said,
That's
I was
true.
glad I was there as a patron, so I didn't know if I need to. Yeah, I got to hang out with Brian for like 20 minutes.
That's cool.
Yeah. So other than that, that's about it.
Get back to
All
work.
right.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Been a boring week.
Well, around work, if you manage to see anything, Dean, you want to recommend an idiot review, sir?
Ryan drinking beer in front of me.
Yes, that was good. We got to see someone throw open a trash can in front of us. That was pretty sweet.
Fantastic.
We were talking, and she was probably a good 20 feet away. She was all in the trash can. I mean, she seemed really embarrassed about it, but
Prost. There you go. Yeah.
it's funny.
Good.
All right, guys. I don't remember where we've seen it on, but it was called Willy's Wonderland. It was a Nicolas Cage movie. This thing, and I call it a thing because I think it was almost seemed like it was paying homage to B movies, right?
Mhm.
Like they were purposely kind of being cheeky a little bit about it. Nicolas Cage says nothing in it, and not 1 ounce of dialogue in it. And it is a Five Nights at Freddy-esque
Oh.
demon
Okay.
animatronics come to life, and he gets stuck inside for the night, and he has to fight them all. And
Like a fun house or something type thing?
no, like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
And the animatronics come to life and try to kill him, and he has to fight them. It's not really, I don't think it's really meant to be a comedy per se.
Okay.
And it's listed as horror. But I mean, there are some genuinely funny parts that I think you're supposed to be laughing at. But if you just want a weird, fun movie, I recommend Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage. I think we watched it on Freevee or one of those things.
All right.
Probably YouTube, like those, because it was on like Netflix, I think, but it got moved
It's
off,
on a
so.
free streaming service, and if you don't have a smart TV, just like write the production house. They'll send you a copy for free on DVD. They're
Right.
just giving it away.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend that. If you're like into the old school horror genres and a little bit of comedy involved, and it's fucking Nicolas Cage, so why not?
I'm in. I will check that out for sure.
I haven't caught up on anything. I'm planning on watching tonight or tomorrow. I'll be watching Agatha episode 3, but I haven't got to that. And there's a new Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix that I've been hearing all about, and I have tomorrow off, so I'm going to be. That was a weird way to say tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching that tomorrow.
I've watched the first 2 episodes so far. I couldn't wait. I was counting down the days till it came out. I'm like, I can't wait to fucking watch this. Yeah.
Worth it?
I'm only 2. I mean, I won't give much away. I'm not going to review it fully until I've seen the whole thing. So next week we'll both discuss, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, it was just that movie. That was it.
Cool. Okay. Nick?
Yeah, I actually uncharacteristically.
Ryan, what have you watched?
Oh, it doesn't feel nice, does it? I'm sorry. I watched so much shit actually out of character. I watched like 6 fucking things, so I'm not even gonna review them all. I'm gonna save some shit for next week. Like first couple episodes of Mr. McMahon, like I couldn't wait to start watching it. But I'll wait and right now. That's not a type of spoiler, but obviously it's a big part of his story. So far, it's more of a WWE documentary getting off the ground and going with a little bit of some early stuff peppered in, with him, as far as personal things. But so far so good. I was really pumped for this to come out. I watched the first episode of Agatha All Along. I like it. So far so good. I've only seen the first episode. Definitely a big fan that we get to see Catherine Hahn's ass in the first episode. That's amazing.
Right.
Yes.
I need you to watch the second one because it changes tone.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? You can tell at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
So I want to know what you think of kind of what the second one kind of shows where it's going to go, or at least how the feel of the rest of the series.
Yeah.
is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, but so far so good. I like it, and I'm a big fan of. Her name escapes me right now. The gorgeous girl from Parks and Rec. We talk about her all the time. Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of that. I also watched on Amazon Prime. There is a 4-part mini docu-series on the Tragically Hip, a Canadian band that I love very much. Is very near and dear to my heart, and it was nice. It was just I peppered it throughout the weekend, and I spent like the entire 5 hours that it took to watch it just smiling, just happy. It was just, but it's sad because the lead singer tragically died in 2017 of a terminal brain tumor. So it's very sad. But there's
I felt the same way on the documentary of George Washington I watched.
Yeah, right. But it was good. It was done by the lead singer's younger brother, who was in charge of making this film or the documentary, and it was really well done. So I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the band, so it was just really cool to see a lot of cool footage of them over the years, and bawled my eyes out at the end, and it was good. It was a good time though. But and then lastly, fucking Beetlejuice was really good.
Right?
Yeah, really good. I didn't know how it would age, but it was fucking good.
It was very good. A lot of fun.
You saw the original?
Yeah.
You watched the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, I thought you meant the second
No,
one.
says, well, I need to see the first one first. So I watched the first one. That was a good movie. That's a lot of fun.
That's the first time
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were because like Oliver wanted, or he's like, you need to watch the first Beetlejuice so we can see the new one, and I'm like, yeah, and it's one of those things where I'm like, and I don't know how it missed me. It was right in, it was popular in my. I mean, it came out while I was very young still, but
in your genre.
Yeah,
I mean that's in your wheelhouse.
yeah, but still very popular. When I was a youngster. So, but yeah, we watched it Saturday night, and it ended, and Robin's like, so she's like, what'd you think? I was like, I really liked it. And she was like, really? Did you? And I was like, yeah, I did. What I found was like, so it's funny. It's like, there's really good lines in there. And it's like, we oftentimes, or at least I do, credit a lot of kids' movies like Toy Story and Shrek for always having those jokes for adults in there peppered in, in like a kid's movie or whatever, or a family movie. Beetlejuice did that fantastically. Michael Keaton's fucking hilarious as Beetlejuice. It's just so weird and great. And ultimately, the thing that I think I find, because I wondered going into it, knowing that it's this big classic. And I wondered if it was going to be like when I saw the Goonies for the first time at like 25.
Right.
And I was like, I guess maybe if I would have seen this when I was a kid, maybe I would have thought it was great. But I'm like, this is not good. It's just dumb. But so I wondered if there would be like a little bit of that. But I think what I could determine from it is like all the Tim Burton movies that I watch from that time period, especially, they're kind of in a class of their own because they're so fantastical and outlandish that they exist. They don't.
In a totally different universe.
They're in it. Yeah, it's its own thing, and I think that's kind of what. I've talked many times about Nightmare Before Christmas, and the more times that I watch it, the more I appreciate it. It seems like with every watch, the more little things I pick up, and I feel like Beetlejuice be that way too. And it's not even just in the dialogue or the way people are dressed.
It's definitely one of those you have to watch over and over to pick up so many little things.
Yeah, I would imagine so. The set design, everything's just so completely different. And I mean, I know. Have you ever heard of this guy Tim Burton? I know this is not a new revelation to anyone. This is Beetlejuice came out in what, like 1990 or 89 or something like that.
All his
88
and 50 other movies.
But as a fresh new watcher of Beetlejuice,
he's really going.
Yeah, he really is. Keep an eye out for that Tim Burton.
I think he's gonna do something with his
first
career.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, actually, this was first, but yeah,
he's on a roll.
Yeah, little Easter egg though.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh no,
Nightmare Before Christmas was '93, I think. Yeah. But anyway, I did catch Jack Skellington in Beetlejuice, where he's rising up from the top of the little, where he's in the big, black and white suit and stuff, and the little thing on top.
Oh, is in the carousel?
Yeah. The thing on top is Jack Skellington's head, and the sides of his head are like the bat wings that look like Jack's bow tie. So as I was watching, I was like, oh, it was Jack. It was kind of cool. But yeah, Beetlejuice was very good.
I watched a video where they showed that they hid some Beetlejuice things in Wednesday series.
Oh, okay.
And in Stranger Things.
Oh, really?
Okay.
There's like a model set in one of the scenes, and if you zoom in, Beetlejuice's headstone is in the model scene.
Oh, that's cool.
In Stranger Things. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I very much enjoyed Beetlejuice, so I thought it aged pretty well. So now I'm looking forward to seeing the new one. So, Brian, what have you been watching, homie?
Very good. Yeah, Beetlejuice still holds up. You kind of forget how little Beetlejuice is actually in the first film. Michael Keaton's part was very, very small, but when he was on screen, it just made that much more powerful.
He doesn't come into the movie until like 40 minutes in or so. It feels like it's like half the movie.
Yeah, it's really the whole family dynamic with the ghosts. That's the movie, of course. With Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. But anyway, I also saw the first episode of the Vince McMahon documentary last evening. Very intriguing. I'm not a huge. I mean, I am hooked. I would definitely continue to watch that. I did see the first 3 episodes now of Agatha All Along. I agree with you guys. Very enjoyable. Definitely worth a watch. Each episode kind of takes you down a different, challenge for the witches as they go along the path. So you'll see that won't spoil anything, but definitely intriguing. All the actresses play well off each other, and also the kid that's along for the ride on the path. So
the teen.
Yes, very, very good. And I started to watch and just eating up season 4 of Only Murders in the Building. They've had like 4 or 5 episodes out so far on Hulu. It dropped the end of August.
Oh man,
actually, so it's been out there for a minute. Get to that. Again, it just continues to be super enjoyable. Just a fantastic series. Again, all the actors play so well off each other. More power packed, guest stars and cameos and everything.
I hear Scott Bakula does cameo.
He does. Yes, he does. Absolutely. Paul Rudd makes a return as well. Paul Rudd was he dead? They kind of explain who he is very quickly. So, just super good. Yeah, she was on Saturday Night Live, played Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Oh, Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon has a big role in this.
Oh, okay, cool.
Terrific.
Nice.
Terrific. Yes. So, yeah, highly recommended. So that's really it.
Thank you for bringing that to my
Sure.
attention.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was out already. I knew it was coming soon, but I didn't know it was out already.
I got to log into something and watch that.
Yeah, for sure. You'll definitely enjoy it. So, okay. All right, guys, we are going to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to check the Cowboys score,
14-9.
and then we're going to come back.
Good guys.
There you go.
Yep.
There you have it.
Watching it right behind you guys.
Very good. So again, tune in for timely sports scores
On
along
Monday
with your pop
morning.
culture talk and headlines. Yeah, and we'll bring you some other pop culture. What's that?
Three dads talking about shit that happened a month ago,
including sports scores.
That's what we do.
That's right. That's what we do best. And we'll bring you more after the break. Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell two enemies.
Four, three.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment 2.
Deuces.
Nick just mentioned watching Beetlejuice for the first time, and the scene that Nick was talking about that had Jack Skellington on top of Beetlejuice's head. He rises out of the model. Do you recall what he said?
I'm back, fuckers.
No, it was like a attention something.
No. You're thinking of the carousel scene.
That's not the same scene with a carousel on his head?
No, well, remember when he comes out of the grave?
No, this is out of the model. He rises up with a carousel on his head anyway.
Yes. Attention K-Mart shoppers.
That's
Is
right.
that what you're talking about? Okay.
That's exactly correct. So making some pop culture, retail news, the last full-size K-Mart in the United States is closing.
Where was it?
It is in
the last Blockbuster, I would assume. Jesus.
Bend, Oregon.
Right.
Bridgehampton, New York.
Really?
So it's due to close October the 20th. So Kmart has been in bankruptcy. They have a
For
small
15
convenience.
years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just now this one's closed.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's generous too.
They have a small convenience store version of itself in Miami, but not the full list of offerings that Kmart was once known for. That location does have larger ticket goods, etc., but it has stores in Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands. But in the mainland United States, the final Kmart is closed. End of an era.
Wow.
You go for their blue light special.
That's right. Well, Kmart, they were fairly prominent even in this area. I know Kmart, there was one in Barberton, Dean, for both of you guys for many years.
I'm honestly that one.
Barberton, we love to save money. That's why a lot of us go to Blake Insurance.
Whoa.
Because Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. When you do, tell them that these idiots turned the blue light on and sent you to him.
Nice.
Very good. Were you guys ever Kmart shoppers?
It was my first job, Brian.
Really?
Yep. I was a cart boy when I was like 15 years old, something like that. I don't know.
Cart with a K. Because branding. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I would go out there and collect all the carts and bring them in. I was a stock boy, and Kmart was my first job.
The one in Barberton there. The same location all those years. Okay.
Huh. Yep. And that one really only closed within the last 5 years.
Fairly recent.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, maybe 5 to 10 in that ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kmart was very popular when I was a kid. Actually, when the summer times, I would go there with my grandmother on her lunch breaks. We'd have lunch in the cafeteria of Kmart because they had food,
Yep.
a cafeteria in there. And we
I
go
used
get
to have to
pizza or
change
whatever.
as a teenager. I had to change that fucking grease trap pit, and man, it was the worst smell in the world. I still to this day it's just embedded in my fucking brain. It was awful.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So a part of Kmart will live on forever in Dean's
Yeah,
nostril.
in my nose. Big enough. There's a lot of things that could fit up there forever.
Yeah, it's just too. I don't know that anything was necessarily unique to Kmart over the years. They would have the various specials, and certainly a store like Walmart comes in and just has the similar concept with the rollback pricing and different
Prices,
things. Yeah, it just didn't seem like it could compete. There was, and I can't think of any. I guess it had its own unique Kmart brands within the store, I guess.
Yeah, well, all those stores. Each store has their own generic brand.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, I got this generic nasal spray type stuff. You know what I mean? And then at the bottom it tells you equivalent to, and then it gives you the name brand. But
Yeah.
I think I got that at Rite Aid or Walgreens or some shit.
Well, that's the same type of it. We got we ordered a podcast host, and we got the equivalent to with Zennial Dean, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, compared to
if
the
it works for the price you got a fucking bargain. Okay,
That's why the audio sounds like it does most of the time.
ours said compared to the podcast host ingredients of Equate.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or they shit
All
off
right. Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, end of an era. Yeah. Farewell, Kmart, and and good luck. We mentioned Agatha All Along. Everybody started to watch at least the first episode of that. The first episode hit 9.3 million views on Disney Plus in its first 7 days of streaming. So certainly it's getting a lot of attention initially. I think a lot of people are maybe hoping for something better from a Marvel series. The last few that we sort of hit and miss.
It's essentially a sequel to WandaVision.
It's a direct sequel. You're exactly right.
So I mean, and WandaVision was, everybody loved that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So why wouldn't it continue to do the numbers? I guess not all sequels, equal out the same way, but at least TV shows, right? You're at least going to give the first one a shot.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first two that came back to back.
Yes. I mean, as always, it'll be interesting to see if it could retain the the numbers as it goes with word of mouth, etc. But
certainly there's interest off the top because people want to see it, and then if it can hold steady or if it kind of falls off, I guess.
And like you guys said, it's got some certainly some big stars in there with Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza. So we'll see how it goes here. So I don't know.
Joe Rupp.
So far so good, huh?
I said, and Deborah Jo Rupp. Come on.
That's right. And then see who was on SNL. This Sashir Zamata. She's on there as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of easy on the eye witches
for sure.
That series, if I may. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of SNL here, guys, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the new Saturday Night Live movie
I'm going
that
to
will
see
be
that in the theater.
debuting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that
looks awesome.
Well, maybe it's something we could plan to all go see together because we're all definitely interested in that. So,
yep, totally.
I don't know exactly when it comes out. I'm looking for this. I think it's sometime in October.
Was it October?
I thought
maybe
so.
October. I thought it was early
so.
November, but it's in the same ballpark. So
yeah, we'll look it up here. But yeah, it's certainly it's a real life depiction of the first season of SNL. It looks like how they got the cast together and the various trials and tribulations to get the show on the air. So it definitely looks like more of a kind of a drama, dark type comedy. It looks like. I'm sure there'll be drug use and all kinds of things going on. So yeah, definitely.
It did a great job casting from what I saw from the trailer too. Like, I mean, the likenesses to the people that these actors are portraying is really well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you looking up something, Dean?
Yeah, I'm looking up the date when it's coming out, so you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Looks like no. Well, this one's posted.
Dean's looking it up, and I'm going to go ahead and.
I was going to say, do you need to talk?
I'm getting ready to narrate.
What the hell's that? What am I going to say? It's important. You guys are silent while I'm looking it up.
You kept talking while you were looking it up, so I didn't want to.
Ask me what I was doing. I can stop it because you two can't talk to each other.
Do you know the date yet, or are we just like, what's happening now?
Tell me about your shirt. Tell me about Baby Billy.
It's Uncle Baby Billy.
Seinfeld. We all like
Don't
Seinfeld.
forget it.
Look at that. We got Baby Billy. We got Seinfeld. You two fellas are so good. Like what you do, I enjoy this every week.
That's right. You should.
You got your little hats on.
We come prepared. We got our matching hats and our matching topical T-shirts.
So goddamn adorable. Love it every week. So I'm going to keep focused right here because if I look down here to look up something, apparently this goes to shit. So I'm just going to talk to you.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know. They keep rising. It's weird. God damn it. Brian, do you have the information?
I do now. So Saturday night.
Hold on. You know what this is? He didn't want me to pull the stat out. Statman's here, and he's like, no, you ain't
right.
all of my shit.
Do you have it?
No, you stop me.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Okay. So it's released in limited cities, select cities, September 27th. So next Friday.
Oh.
But only in LA, New York, and Toronto. That is tomorrow. You're right. So tomorrow, excuse me. Yeah. And then I'm sure it'll expand from there. So over the next week or two, it should be hopefully on a larger scale.
Thank you for that valuable stat, Brian. I appreciate that.
You are a valued part of this community.
While Dean was playing the part of the martyr, you were tirelessly at work bringing us the stats. Thank you.
So, what are you most intrigued about with this movie? Let's get into that just for 2 seconds here. What is it about this movie that interests you? Is it how the cast got together? Is it how it got on the air? Is it Lorne Michaels? What is it that interests you about this story? Go ahead.
When I saw the trailer, what interests me the most is the almost replicating the feel of Animal House, like backstage, like the chaos and the kind of the youth in charge. You know, of this, it kind of
it almost didn't happen,
right? Yeah, like it's all that everything had to really fall into place. It seems like to get this thing made, and and you don't. All of these Saturday Night Live cast members throughout the years have done Lorne Michaels' stories and done his the impressions. I like that this guy playing him isn't trying to do that. Like it doesn't sound like somebody doing Lorne Michaels' voice.
Right.
I like that, but I also want to see kind of like how he was. You know what I mean? Because you don't really get like actual feel of like what he was in his youth back in the 70s. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Nick,
he's a very intriguing character in and of himself. Even now, like you don't get a vibe of what Lorne Michaels is like. And so like a little bit of that, but a little bit of everything that you said, Brian, because like as we've discussed many times on the show, we've talked about SNL a lot, and I've mentioned I've been watching it since I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I love the show. I've read different books of people who have been cast members on SNL, and I've heard various stories, but the whole look behind the curtain, if you will, of what goes into the production of a Saturday Night Live is very intriguing to me. And certainly in those early days, to see how it all came together, like I said, to see how it almost didn't happen, how frantic and chaotic it is. I hope it kind of delivers, and I would imagine it would, delivers on that feel of just that kind of experience.
Mhm.
Because I just find that so fascinating, and just I catch myself all the time when I'm watching Saturday Night Live in present day that I'm just like, how little turnaround there is on this show, and how much they come, and how much even gets cut. How many things are brought to the table on a given week, and there's oftentimes, and it's kind of cool now on Saturday Night Live's like Instagram, they will, a day or two after it airs that Saturday, they'll post like a cut sketch, something that was filmed that didn't make it to air, that they'll put on there that just was cut for time. So it's kind of interesting. I like that stuff. I like seeing, and it makes you wonder like what goes into those decisions, like Lauren largely decides what's cut.
Or
but
maybe there's like a studio guy coming in going, you know what?
yeah, there's a lot of factors. It could be time. It could be it just doesn't fit the vibe of the show, or we don't like the way the host fits into this one, or whatever. But just the entire experience of Saturday Night Live, and to see it in its infancy when first getting off the ground. I'm just looking forward to it. I feel like I'm just going to eat it up. So, but yeah, what about you, Brian? What's your thing with that?
I love like a story of just seeing people with some type of sheer determination build something. I just really enjoy. I think the live. I don't know that they were necessarily originally planning a live show, if I remember correctly. They just sort of were pushed into doing it, and Lorne Michaels basically, took the challenge, and we're going to do this anyway, and we're going to make this work, and then clearly did. So just that, any story like that, I just love to see that, whether it be a sports story or something like this, where again they're just starting from nothing, and they have to. Everything's against them, it seems like, to try to make something work. And again, just by the sheer work and determination by everybody involved, a lot of people involved, you create some type of success. So
even you don't speak to the
podcast a lot like that. Determination and perseverance is really what brings this together every single week.
Certainly,
that's a good point, Brian.
Sheer determination, crystal clear audio
determined to make,
on a regular basis.
Determined to make Brian do a fuck ton of editing every week. Week in and
That's
week
right.
out.
That's right. Every episode's typically at minimum 4 to 5 hours. We try to whittle it down. Yeah. So more tolerable. Yeah.
I'm exhausted after it, but it's worth it every week.
That's right.
It's hard to cut off that creative flow.
It really is. It really is.
Well, another story that's just getting dropped on Netflix here, guys. Monsters. This is the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. I don't know if you saw this on Netflix as well. I think it's a limited series about their story.
Is that the one where they capture screams in the vials from the doors and they take it back to power the city? Is that what, right?
Yeah. John Goodman plays one of them.
Yeah.
No, I think that's Monsters Inc. is what you're thinking of here. Yeah, these are about two boys that plotted and murdered their parents, to try to get rich or something along that line. So,
and stole a human girl from the human world.
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely. So,
I saw this.
So let's get into our Ask an Idiot question of the week here, guys. So, clearly we like stories about SNL and
do we like people that murder their parents, or
true crime series and shows and movies are certainly very popular. So that's my question to you guys. Are you guys into true crime content, and why or why not? So Nick, why don't we start with you?
Well, Brian, I see a lot of them, and not typically by my own choice, but I believe I mentioned on last week's episode that I frequently fall asleep to these psychotic shows all the time. and am plagued by them amidst my dreams.
And he really freaks out when she's like, he hears the pencil going because she's taking a lot of fucking notes.
Taking notes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not so much of what she's plotting to do; it's the psychological warfare that goes into it that really throws me for a loop there. Yeah, that's right. I don't. Yeah. So like, I'm not necessarily against them. There is I'm not the type of person to just throw them on all the time. I'm gonna leave that to the middle-aged white ladies of in the world. That's their thing. But no, it's it's not. It's interesting. Some of them, just general things about abductions and murders and things like that. It's not necessarily something I personally seek out, but I do enjoy certain ones have really caught my interest over the years. When Making a Murderer was a big deal on Netflix, man, I was in on that one all the way. Like we couldn't get enough of that shit. And I don't know, I wouldn't say it was the start necessarily, but it was certainly early on one of the bigger ones at the beginning of this fad. I mean, true crime things have always been around. There've always been documentaries on true crime type things, but I'd say within the last handful of years it's really become more in the limelight, and it's this is like a big genre that people like seek out. To this day, my favorite one is back in the early 90s, there were 3 kids in Arkansas that were in their they were like teenagers. They were framed for the murder and castration and torture of these like 3 8-year-old boys in Arkansas. It was called they were called the Memphis 3, the West Memphis 3. There's many musicians and things have done like benefit concerts to free them and stuff because they were wrongly accused. They were just goth kids basically in the early 90s, and everybody thought they were scary and Satan worshipers, and they were easy to pin all these crimes on. And to this day, there's not been any, I don't think, resolution to it. They made a movie about it. Reese Witherspoon played the one kid's mom. It was very good. And then HBO did a 3-part documentary through the years. One was made in like the late 90s. They were called Paradise Lost. It's a 3-part documentary series. And they were made like years apart and follow really the entire story from the beginning all the way through to them being grown men and finally being released. So anyway, that like there's certain ones that I've really hung on to that I've really been intrigued by. But as a whole, I have no problem with them, but I don't it takes like a really interesting or complex one for me to like really get on board with, one with a lot of twists and turns. But like I said, my wife watches them all the time. I see a ton of them all the time. So, but Brian, does Allie into like true crime stuff?
No, that type of stuff is just too morbid for her. Like she's not a big like even gory horror fan of things like that. Thrillers and different things a little bit, but even that's kind of hit and miss for her. It's just not her style, not her personality necessarily. Yeah. So, but I'm intrigued though. It's I guess some of it's what of a morbid fascination of just what the mind is capable of with some people. It's just just how a mind could just snap, and it's that part is like, wow. Not the I'm not interested in the gore and different things like that and those, but that is interesting. But I like the other side of it where you get the documentaries where you in some cases they interview real detectives who were able to piece together the case. That type of stuff really interests me there. How the law enforcement was able to find the evidence and piece things together and eventually catch the killer, that type of thing, where justice is served and everything like that. So that part of it is what I find especially interesting. So the Menendez thing, I'm intrigued for sure. I mean, it's really just a horrible thing that happened, but I'm interested in it, so I will probably watch it. So, Dean, go ahead, please.
this Menendez thing. It's not a documentary. This is like a
No, it's like a limited series based on the story. That's what this
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's not a documentary.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm just saying other ones that are out there, true crime type shows.
Gotcha.
I did the same. Yeah, I should have said documentaries too, but true crime in general, whether it be reenactments or otherwise. Go ahead.
Okay. I enjoy them. Kind of like with you guys. I don't seek them out. I would probably be more apt to watch a documentary, true crime documentary, maybe about like Lizzie Borden, or you know what I mean, something like really old, compared to like something happened in the early 2000s. It's more of like a history thing, but like when you get into the thing, like you said, Brian, I like to see and hear the detectives kind of explain how they figured it out, and that's mainly why Robin does too, because she's trying to find the perfect way to do something later,
right.
But
Get away with it. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
she's getting a lot of time at Rittman Orchards. Lately,
yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
And what she didn't realize is she doesn't have to go with this alone. She has a lot of friends and family that that whatever she needs.
Sprawling hills, a lot of open area out here.
Right.
A lot of dirt.
Man, we told you for the 5th time you can't come back this far. Sorry. Yeah.
We fucked up. He's not dead. He's just. I'm still alive. Stop throwing dirt on me.
I'm filthy. I knew I shouldn't have worn my white pants here today.
This time you've been pantsless in a pile of dirt too. So. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't seek them out. They're fine. If I don't have many that kind of stick in my head that I kind of go to. I didn't watch, like, I don't seek out even the ones that you guys are talking about, like the Netflix ones. Everybody, raved about those, and I didn't see them. Tiger King thing, I fell asleep within like the first 5 minutes.
Go back. Go back and watch that. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Yeah,
that's better than any of the making of the murder things, probably.
Like, I would be more apt to watch like a movie about something that happened than the documentaries of those things. And I love documentaries, don't get me wrong, but I love more history, longer back history stuff. So yeah, that's where I feel.
Well, if you wait long enough, it will be further back ago, and you can watch
then
it.
I'll watch it. Then I'll watch it.
All right. Okay. Well, if we watch any of them, and then we'll certainly talk about that in upcoming idiot reviews. So,
you know what I was sidebar on that. I do find I'm interested in like depictions of true crime things like that are pop culturally relevant, like the new Aaron Hernandez one that's coming out on the it's American Murders to whatever it's American Crime. It's like what they did with the O.J. Simpson one, right, with Cooper Jr. But the Aaron Hernandez one looks pretty interesting. I kind of like to watch that.
Yeah. By the way, there is a documentary on him as well. Boy. Yeah. You can find that, I think, on Netflix also. But yeah, it's again another one. Just very dark stuff. Very dark stuff. So
you would look up a few of the. They made many different documentaries about it. Have you guys ever watched anything on H.H. Holmes, America's First Serial Killer?
No.
Nope.
Give it a shot. He built a house in Chicago, I believe, and during the World's Fair in Chicago, when like a whole, very famous World's Fair, and like he had this house built to where each room he would hire and fire a contractor just build a room at a time because he didn't want them to know what the next thing was supposed to do, and they had doors that would lead down into like kill chambers in the basement.
Well, how clever!
Yeah, H.H. Holmes, America's First Serial Killer. There's I can't say just one documentary. There's been a bunch of books, movies, and all that. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Huh.
All right.
Well,
we're into the next thing. So.
What's that?
Well, all right.
Well, before Dean finds a way to take the world's the first serial killer and how he ties back into a Beetlejuice movie, we're going to end the segment and come back with our main topic this evening. Some call us like side characters or side maybe side characters of podcasting,
Who you are?
ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite side characters after the break.
Robin calls you guys my side pieces.
Aw,
Yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
4, 3.
Howdy out there, and welcome to segment number 3 of Convincing Idiots. I'm Millennial Nick, alongside Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. And, you've been sticking around for the first 2 segments of Convincing Idiots. Why not stick around for the third? We may not be the main attraction that you came for tonight, but we can bring to the table some good side character values, which is what we're going to be discussing tonight in our main segment. The main characters get all the love all the time. Our favorite actors, our favorite superheroes, favorite scenes of this, that, and the other with main characters. Well, tonight, it's all about the side characters, and we're going to be discussing some of our favorite non-main characters in TV sitcoms. So
It's a sitcoms?
it is sitcoms. That's what Brian said. That's
I
what
got
he
to change
said.
my podcast answers.
There you go. While Dean's looking and trying to prepare himself for the show on the show, let me tell you something you don't need any preparation for. An electric bike.
Oh.
An electric bike. That's it. That's all you need. You and the will to have the finest piece of machinery on the market, and that would be from our friends at RPM Bike Shop. That's right, they're located in Carrollton, Ohio, not very far from where we record this fantastical podcast. You can give them a call at 330-808-7792, or you can trot your happy little ass over to Facebook and search RPM Bike Shop. You can see the wonderful electric bikes that they have to offer you, or you can go to their website, which is rpmbikeshop.com, and you won't be stuck being a side character on an electric bike from RPM Bike Shop. No, my friend, you will be the main character as you ride through the streets on your super cool electric bike from RPM Bike Shop.
Excellent.
Dean, are you ready for the show? Have you prepared properly?
No, I was making a joke that you two are the side characters. I'm the main character. And then I had written you two down because of the podcast.
I see. Well, I kind of took over that segment like a leading man, so I don't know.
First time you've been a man in a long time, so
yeah,
you're welcome.
Accurate.
All right. So who's going to go first, boys?
Not
Let's
you,
go.
Brian. Let's
I
go.
get to go first ever.
Ever. I want Brian to go first now.
Come on, finish first, Brian.
Get
All
yours,
right.
Brian.
As usual.
Right here.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep. I'm going to go with my Seinfeld T-shirt, one of my favorite.
Nope, Jerry's the main character. Can't use him.
No. So one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. One of my favorite side characters on any sitcom. How about Newman?
I have Newman as well.
Okay.
Hello, Newman. Wayne Knight was just fantastic in that role. Played a great, arch nemesis of Jerry. Well acted. He played well off of Kramer. He had some fun adventures there. Just great character. Always enjoyed seeing him every time he made an appearance.
Very, very good. Nick, you want to
go? Sure. Yeah. My first submission, as you guys know, I'm a big Friends fan. And while there are 6 main characters in Friends, my favorite side character, he was only in maybe 3 or 4 episodes, it was Eddie from Friends. That was Chandler's temporary roommate while Joey went and got his own apartment after being a big-time soap star on Days of Our Lives. Eddie moved in. And Eddie seemed like a really good fit at first and seemed like a fun guy, and then slowly spiraled into insanity as time went on. And accusing
The goldfish.
Yeah, he accused Chandler of killing his fish, sleeping with his girlfriend, and but then he would go on these. He was like bipolar, I think. He would go into these episodes where he was very manic and jealous and insane, and then he would like make up these whole scenarios that like him and Chandler went on these adventures together and did these things, and he would completely forget about like things that he was mad at him for. He would creep in his room in the middle of the night and watch him sleep. Just all kinds of crazy, psychotic episodes that Eddie had. And to this day, through 10 seasons of Friends, as many times as I've watched Friends, as much as I love that show and so many things about it, as far as characters that are not one of the six of them, Eddie has always been by far my favorite side character. I love those episodes very much. So Eddie from Friends.
See, I think it was even great how they got rid of him. It was so simple.
Yeah.
Not a big fanfare. Joe just showed back up, and they're like, "No, you never lived here." And he was so crazy, he ended up leaving him and just walking away.
Yeah, they beat him at his own game. They just tricked him. They straight up, Chandler would try to tell him to move out, and constantly he would forget and go, "I don't know where this is coming from" or whatever.
Right.
And eventually, Joey just moved back in, and they changed the locks and. They, confused him enough to where they beat him in his own game and just flipped the script and he went away.
That's a good call. That's a good character.
Yeah.
All right, All right, so I'm going to go along with Brian Seinfeld. Let's face it, Jerry Seinfeld is named after him, so we're calling him the main character. Mm-hmm. And I don't think in sitcom history there's been a better schlubby, sad, pathetic, but also funny. George Costanza, to me, it has to be on my Mount Rushmore, played by Jason Alexander. Just the comedic timing on that guy, and not even just Seinfeld, everything else you've ever seen him in. As an actor, he's just fantastic.
Yeah,
I love George Costanza, and he's been famous. He said people come up to him and say, "Oh man, people tell me I'm like George Costanza all the time," and he's like, "That's not a good thing."
That's horrible. That man is deeply flawed.
Yeah. You know, brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. George Costanza
George is hands down my favorite part of Seinfeld. So of what I've seen so far, I absolutely love George. Yeah.
Ron, yo up, buddy.
Very good. All right. Going back again, retro from the show Cheers. One of my favorite characters, not the you get the main. To me, the main characters of Cheers are the main people around the bar, right? So, but Coach, I always enjoyed Coach on Cheers. Coach was the elderly guy who was like the bar manager with Sam in the first few episodes until the actor, I think he literally passed away, right? Huh?
He died, going before the third season.
Okay. But he just played the role so well. He was just kind of a confused older guy. He was just, confused and dumb in a funny way. A lot of great quips. So, yeah, give me Coach from Cheers on my list. Yeah.
Nice.
Nick?
Next up, I'm going to go animated here. South Park revolves around the four boys and some of their friends, but certainly...
There's no correct answer to this, Nick. I hope you got it right.
Oh, yeah. Well, my favorite of their friends was absolutely Butters.
Absolutely.
Butters is absolutely... Butters is hands down the best part of every episode he's ever been in.
Did you ever see the Butters episode?
What's that?
Did you ever see the Butters episode?
Well, they did a few. Yeah.
No, where he has his own theme song.
Yeah, everyone knows it's Butters, so that's me. Yeah, right. Yeah. One of my favorite Butters episodes is the anime one where they go and buy from a flea market. They go buy ninja weapons, and they all come up with these alter egos and turn into these anime style versions.
Captain Chaos, was it?
Professor Chaos. Yeah.
Professor Chaos.
And they're having this epic battle and whatever, and one of them throws their ninja stars and it hits Professor Chaos in the face. And it flashes to real life, and Butters has an actual ninja star in his fucking head. He's bleeding and crying and sobbing, and they dress him up like a dog and shit and try to take him to a vet because they are too embarrassed to take him to a hospital and get in trouble. And that's just one example. Butters is the best version. He's such a kind, sweet, gentle boy, and hanging out with these derelicts all the time, and you can't help but just love Butters and how wholesome he is. And Butters, yeah, absolutely. I don't need to say any more. Butters is definitely on my Mount Rushmore of side or non-main characters.
Very good.
Dean?
Absolutely. All right, my next one, number 2 is this is I might be alone on this. I don't know how many people. Well, I know a lot of people remember the show. I don't know. Definitely Nick's not going to. But the character was Antonio Scarpacci. Antonio Scarpacci, played by the great and Emmy Award-winning Tony Shalhoub on the TV show Wings. That silence tells me that you guys.
I used to watch. No, I used to watch
Yeah.
Wings. I was a Wings fan.
That's
It
where
came on
Tony
after Cheers, I believe.
Tony
Huh?
Shalhoub got his start as Antonio on Wings. He was the Italian immigrant who kind of lived nearby, and he was part of that ensemble cast right there. But
Man,
he was definitely the sidekick. And anything that I see Tony Shalhoub in now, from Monk to the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, a part of me still sees Antonio from Wings. I love that character. Love that show. I'd like to go back to it. I'd like to go back. I don't even assume it's on Peacock. It was an NBC show. I'd like to go back to see if it still holds up.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. But yeah. So, yeah, Antonio, played by Tony Shalhoub, Wings.
That's right. I forgot about that character.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the start. At least on television.
Okay. My next?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Animated for me this time The Simpsons have so many great side characters. One of my favorites always has been Mo the bartender, voiced by the great Hank Azaria. Hank, of course, he made our list last week of favorite voice actors. Just always a funny character, and the scenes of him with Bart pranking him all those years they did that was just priceless. I don't know. I just always enjoyed that. Always enjoyed Mo. So, there you go.
There you
Mo.
go. Love it.
The Simpsons. Yes.
Best part of town.
Yeah.
Alrighty. My next one, I'm going to pull out Uncle Baby Billy here from the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Of course. Fucking love me some Uncle Baby Billy. There again, he's not the main character, not one of the main characters, but he steals the episode every time he's in one for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's so blatantly self-serving and just so transparent with what he wants and what he's in things for. I love it. I love the character of the has-been star that's just trying to reclaim some thread of fame that they used to have. It's very funny to me, and absolutely love Uncle Baby Billy. That's it. If you watch The Righteous Gemstones, I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. So, Brian, you've watched The Righteous Gemstones, right?
First 2 seasons.
Okay.
On season. Yeah. We definitely got into it. Yeah.
Okay. Third season, I feel like, is when he really shines, and this shirt makes more sense with what it says. But the third season, it says Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers. That's the an idea he has. Well, I'll just leave it at that, because if you haven't watched the third season, that's a big part of it. So, but yeah, definitely a big fan of the character and that show. So I think the fourth season's. I know they recently filmed it. I don't know if what stage it's at as far.
It just come out like earlier this year, right?
The third, maybe was it this year? If it was this year, it was like real. It was like January. It was like real early on. Yeah, so that could be. So no, fourth season's on the way.
Okay.
So
love it.
Good
character.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go big ensemble cast of MASH, right? Hawkeye, main character, right? So anybody that's not Hawkeye, I mean, you could argue, you have BJ up there, Frank Burns, but Henry Blake to me was one of the greatest side characters because, again, what I think we've determined on some of these side characters is the aloofness of them, kind of maybe the bumbling, and Henry Blake was the epitome of that. How he got to the rank of colonel, Lord knows. I'm sure they explained it, but portrayed by McLean Stevens. Matt, he probably was on the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, first few seasons for sure. Yeah,
and then has the most heartbreaking ending to a character, that scene with Radar in the operating room.
Shocking.
It's just devastating. But up until then, Henry Blake was, to me, one of the funniest, most aloof characters there was. I loved him. So he gets my third nod. Henry Blake in Mass.
Very good. Yep. Excellent. Going back to the late 70s, early 80s again here, guys. So used to enjoy the show Taxi. Taxi definitely had a few side characters there. One of my favorites, the great Christopher Lloyd as Reverend Jim. Really what made a name for him. That was the first big role, I think, that Christopher Lloyd had. So Reverend Jim was just sort of a crazy guy that worked as I don't know if he was a cabbie or I don't know exactly what was he a cabbie?
He was burnt out from the 60s.
Okay.
He had done so much dope in the 60s, he kind of burned himself out. At least that was always my understanding of the character.
Okay. But he just had this crazy look about him. Just hilarious.
It's almost like a Nixon impression sometimes.
Yeah. And he was just, Christopher Lloyd has played the role straight. I don't think he ever cracked a smile. He didn't realize how crazy he was in the show. So if
there were some episodes where he even got heartfelt and kind of out of the mindless and was kind of a little more direct, and it still worked with how he portrayed that character.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're a Christopher Lloyd fan, go back. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or other area. I don't know if the Taxi's streaming anywhere or not, but just check out clips of him as Reverend Jim and give yourself a smile.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Me TV on cable.
Is it Me TV?
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it.
Nice.
Nikolai.
I am now entering with my second character from Friends, who was a side character, and I'm going to go with not Chandler's roommate, but Chandler's reoccurring girlfriend, Janice. Janice from Friends. That's right. Janet was an all-time great, and she, was reoccurring through all 10 seasons, really, on and off of Friends. I would have to imagine, as far as side characters go, other than Gunther, I would say Janice is probably throughout Friends most frequently. And she was fantastic. Just neurotic and gaudy and just over the top annoying. And both Eddie and Janice were great characters. And I know this is not about main characters, but I would like to point out the late, great Matthew Perry. I feel like he did such a good job of because as he was the straight man in these roles, he did such a great job of elevating those performances. So it's kind of a cool thing to look back, because I'm always like, man, for some reason, all my favorite side characters of Friends always revolve around Chandler, and that's because of what a great job Matthew Perry did, who we lost almost a year ago, coming up on a year ago. So, but anyway, Janice was fantastic, and all the ways that Chandler would go out of his way, he would always find his way back to her in moments of despair or desperation, and he would find his way back to Janice at some point for some reason, and then almost
Janice at one point.
Come on, and then you almost immediately regretted it and had to come up with a new way to break up with her. One of my all-time favorite episodes is when Chandler agrees to be set up on a blind date, a couples date with Joey. And Joey's friend, oddly enough, brings Janice as Chandler's date, unbeknownst to either one of them, which they had just broken up. And it's such a great episode.
when Ross hooked up with her, that was fun.
That was a good one too. Yeah. It's like a reunion in the hall. Yeah, it's just Janice is an all-timer. So Janice from Friends on my list.
Love it.
Very good.
Number 4 spot is going to Mr. Perry Cox, Dr. Perry Cox, portrayed by John C. McGinley in the TV show Scrubs.
Yeah.
The monologues that guy had to do every week, with in one breath, was amazing. You couldn't get away with some of the stuff that you couldn't get away with a character calling another male character a different girl's name every week. Right? You couldn't get away with it today. But back then, back when it was on, it was fucking amazing. John C. McGinley, again. You could point to anything he's done other than Dr. Cox, and he's brilliant in it. For his love for Michael Bolton in Office Space. Platoon. Lieutenant, I don't think we're going to make it out of here. Johnson McGinley is brilliant. I love him. And Perry Cox, to me, is just a masterpiece of a character.
Sure, goddamn right he is.
Yeah, exactly.
I celebrate the guy's entire catalog.
Absolutely. All right. So, Perry Cox, Dr. Perry Cox.
Nice. Good one.
Very good. Well, speaking of catalog, one of my favorite Seinfeld side characters, Mr. J. Peterman. Seinfeld. He was the guy that Elaine worked in his catalog for a while. That guy, that actor, he went on. He hosted game shows or something like that after the fact. I think he
lived a good life off that character.
Yeah, he sure did. I think he still hosts the dog show every Thanksgiving. I hear that guy on there. I think just very distinct look and voice. And again, another guy that was so good at playing a straight man, just super serious the whole time, but so ridiculously serious.
He played dumb so seriously.
Yeah,
like there's some you have that almost for example, my Henry Blake, his goofiness and stupidness, there was a bumbling to it.
Yeah,
Jay Peterman was right straight on serious, but tell me shit. It's so brilliant.
The stories he would tell about his clothing, how it came to be, and everything was just fantastic. The Apocalypse Now. Yeah, that's right. The Apocalypse Now's one where he's, the horror. Yeah, just so good. So good.
As soon as you said the dog show,
Jay Peterman.
I immediately heard his voice going, the Yorkshire Terrier,
the
Labrador Retriever.
That's it. That's
the Newfoundland Labrador. He announces them as they come by.
Yep, that's it. All right.
That would do any game show at this point, right? And you grade it. I don't think from fucking Wheel of Fortune to Jeopardy, if you said that guy was doing it, you go, yeah, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure.
That's right.
Not many people have that niche of a voice that you could that fits into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Game show host.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Very
Your fifth, I think.
Yeah, my fifth. So my fifth submission, he could actually, the actor has played two characters that could slide into this role. You guys would probably more relate to him as George's father on Seinfeld. I am picking him because he is Doug Heffernan's father-in-law on King of Queens, Arthur. Jerry Stiller did a fantastic job.
Can we just say Jerry Stiller? Because that's hard to pick which one wins.
Yeah, and literally they're similar characters. If you want to really, in ways they're very similar.
Frank is a little more angry.
Sure, yeah. But Arthur is just so old and confused. And so there again, the way that he played off of Kevin James' character, Doug, in the show, like he's just so annoyed by everything that he does, and he's so aloof, and it's just fantastic. Their interactions were incredible. One of my all-time favorites is it's like the very beginning. It's right off the rip. It's like the opening credits are rolling after the theme music plays, and he comes upstairs and he goes, "Douglas," he's like, He's like, I've decided it's like I want to get a pizza tonight. And he's like, okay. And he's like, so this little family-owned joint that I saw downtown called Domino's. He just goes, Domino's?
Domino's.
Yeah, Domino's. Little family joint down the corner called Domino's. Domino's. There's so many. He's just such a incredible character, and not even so much for his. There were many episodes that he is, very closely tied to the plot in, but you didn't even need that. Like his interactions and his
one or two scenes in the background saying something funny.
His quips, his reactions to things, just physical humor, the way he would, physically, the things he would do, it's fantastic. So, I put him up there. In my head, Arthur from King of Queens came up, but certainly either one would be fine for Jerry Stiller. So,
yourself a favor, go to YouTube and pull up Jerry Stiller Seinfeld bloopers. There's a fucking rabbit hole that you will thank me for.
Yeah.
With the time him and Elaine.
She can't stop laughing. Yeah.
Like the one in the they were in the police station when George got arrested.
Yeah.
For being a boy.
That's a great one.
And him going, "What? You want a piece of me?"
Yeah.
And she just could not hold it together after he said that. Okay, Jerry Stiller, Seinfeld bloopers. You'll thank me.
Okay.
Very good. Excellent. Honorable mentions, quick. Dean?
I got my last one. I got my last
We have your
one.
last ones. Forgive me. Go ahead.
Man, you're all just going to let me walk away without talking about Dan Fielding.
Yeah.
Dan Fielding from the 80s and 90s Night Court, and even to today, playing the same character, John Larroquette, as Dan Fielding, won Emmy after Emmy, and deservedly so. See, he was he played Marmy and finalist, but he did it with a heart, right? The character ultimately did have heart, which comes in this new iteration of Night Court, where he is older and he's not that slimy guy. He is more of the wise, older, sage type character. But both are Dan Fielding, and he is one of my favorite characters in television, hands down. Dan Fielding from Night Court.
Very good.
Awesome.
Excellent. Now, any honorable mentions? Nick, we're going to flip up to you then. Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, real quick. Just off top, I was on a friend's kick there, but Jack Geller, Ross and Monica's dad, fantastic. He's another reoccurring character through the series. And then also I have
He's in the
Glenn.
movie MASH.
What's that?
He was in the movie MASH.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, Elliot Gould.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, great character on that Friends. Yeah.
I also have written down Glenn from Letterkenny. If you've watched Letterkenny, Glenn is one of my favorite characters. He's not one of the main.
List as well.
He's not one of the main four, but goddamn, he is just fantastic. You could pick many characters from that show, but Glenn is my favorite. Yeah. So, yep, that's about it. So, Dean, who you got for honorable mentions?
I'll run down the list. I'll start with Glenn from Letterkenny, like you said. Yes, there's not a scene he doesn't eat up.
Yeah.
I have Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito, and It's Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, great one. Oh fuck yeah.
Right. Dwight Schrute from The Office. Nick Miller from New Girl.
It's a good one. Yep. You could go Schmidt too, even. Yeah, Schmidt's. Oh wait, actually, all well, and then are the I don't know. They're all good.
But I think the one that holds me is, like I said, that aloof, dumb character. So that's why Nick got that one for me.
Yeah.
From Peterson and Cheers. Kenneth Parcell in 30 Rock as Kenneth the Page, right? Like I said, and then you have Roy Kent from Ted Lasso.
Nice, yeah.
So that's my honorable mentions.
Very good. See, a lot of yours I consider main characters on the show. But that's just my opinion. Yeah,
Like who?
like Dan, I consider to be one of the main characters of
Me,
Night
to
Court.
me,
Or
well,
George,
you,
even.
I
Like, I
think-
could see George, yeah.
when I think
Norm.
ensemble, I think there's
Mhm.
one person that it's focused on. And when doing this list, I considered them the main character. Or, yeah, like Jerry Seinfeld was the main character.
Okay.
Harry Anderson was the main character in Night Court. That's how I thought. That's how I kind of
gotcha.
approached it.
You get subjective because I thought about putting Kramer on mine, and then I backed off because I'm like, Kramer's kind of he's in every episode.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like if they're in every episode, like, they
It's-
main characters?
The main character is like who you ultimately are focusing on. The only one out of all of these that I would agree would be hard would be the Six of the Friends, because there was
Sure,
no
yeah.
main character in that. But I
Right.
think all these other shows, to me, like that, even MASH, Hawkeye was the main character. So yeah, again, that's how I approached it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, send in your emails to us and tell us how you think Dean is wrong, ladies and
Bring 'em
gentlemen.
on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not just this, every other way. Tell me how I'm wrong, please.
Mm-hmm.
I need to fix my life.
Oh,
Yep.
boy. Oof.
You're gonna need one of those big fucking scrolls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, real quick here, I had Creed from The Office. This is the older guy. It's
I was going
great.
to say, I would
Great.
argue anyone but Scott Stapp is not the main character.
No, but the older guy from The Office is just a very interesting character. When you got a glimpse of his life and all that, just a very weird, fascinating guy. Wilson,
in real life too.
what's that?
That guy Creed is also because Creed's his name in real life too.
That's right. Yes.
It
Yeah.
used to be part of like the '60s rock band.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
That last song in the final episode, he actually wrote for that. Yeah, it's if you get a hold of his story, it's pretty fascinating.
Interestingly, the name of the rock band is one of the headstones in the Beetlejuice model. Did you know that?
Really?
No, I'm just making
Okay.
that up. I don't know. See, you would even know. Yeah,
I would have believed you.
You say it convincingly enough, someone will
that's
believe
right.
it.
That's right.
You had me convinced.
That's right.
It is
Convincing-
society that we live in a nutshell, right there.
We are
Right.
convincing idiots, ladies and
That's true.
gentlemen.
That's
That's
true.
the name of the show. I also have Wilson from Home Improvement. That was the neighbor over the
Ah,
fence.
that's
You
a good
never
one.
really
Yeah.
saw his face and developed a relationship with Tim.
That's a real good one.
Kind of a triple bill, Larry, Daryl, and Daryl from the Newhart show. Hi, I'm Larry, my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. That's the two guys that Daryl's never spoke.
Yep.
Larry always spoke, but they had the great, they just played well off each other. The grace of, I had Janice as well. This is from Allie. I had a Janice to my
Nice.
list. Also Nick.
Good one.
And one of my favorite side characters of South Park, Towley.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen. Yeah, it's just simply it's when you just a towel that got high all the time. That's as
right.
simple as that. Yep, that's it.
Nick Valkyrie, yeah.
You want to get high?
Give me one thing that makes it. What's one thing, your guy? What makes a good side character? Why? What? In your opinion, what? Why did you pick these characters? What's one quality of a good side character?
I
Okay.
would say. So sorry. Go ahead, Dean.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I would say. I would say somebody that complements the main characters well,
Mhm.
but also stands on their own. Like all the ones
Yeah.
that I picked. Hell, the ones that I picked in most cases are when they're a part of the show, they're my favorite part of the show. And that's kind of what, they're not a main character. They're not always there, but when they are there, that's something you look forward to. It kind of makes the episode, but they always play well off of the main characters of the show.
Mm-hmm. Dean?
Exactly what Nick said. I have an analogy also, probably because I'm watching football right behind you guys now. But look at it as a sporting team, as a football team, right? The quarterback being the main character. He ain't doing it alone. Occasionally he could run it in for the touchdown, but for the most part, he's got to pass it. Like he's got to pass it, and just like in a scene, these main characters can do their thing, but they got to pass it to, like, ultimately, a lot of these people are going to be funnier than the main character.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the different perspective, the funnier perspective, because there's something wacky about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're character actors, and I think that's what it is. You need the not only do you support the main character, but the main character has got to be able to pass you the ball in that scene. So
Yeah, very good analogies. They're able to drive like the sub story. They're rarely part of the main story of the episode, but they're often a key part of whatever the secondary storyline is of that episode, and they're able to drive it. And like Nick said, you simply look forward to seeing them. You don't see them all the time, and when they do have the opportunity to have more of a featured role, that just makes that episode that much more exciting because they play that character so well. But they couldn't necessarily stand on their own. I guess that's part of it as well. The character is interesting enough to where if you try to make a Newman series, probably wouldn't have done so well. But playing off Seinfeld and the other characters
McLean
just
Stevens
works so well. For example,
because he thought he could go to a show and be the main character, and it didn't last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it hasn't been attempted with characters. It just doesn't. It doesn't work the same.
That's right. Okay, gentlemen,
There it is.
there it is. We've done
We
it.
do good. I mean, I know I did.
We did do good, but you know who would do really good is you, the listener. If you go and were to find us on all of your favorite social media platforms, and that could be done as simply as just going to Google and typing in Convincing Idiots Linktree, LANKTREE, or you can go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So be the main character in this story yourself, listener. Be the hero that we all need and we deserve, and go like and subscribe, rate, review, and most of all, come back and join us for another episode of Convincing Idiots. But for episode 208, we have been your side characters. I'm Millennial Nick.
Daniel Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to come back and join us for another featuring spot in the soundtrack of your life next time on Convincing Idiots?
Daniel Dean. Gen X Brian. Millennial Nick. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe.
Ham grape.
Episode 208.
Mhm.
Yes.
You are right. Yep. Okay.
Wow. It's a weird feeling. It's oddly,
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
oddly
In
unsettling.
your life.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel weird when I agree with you because I know I'm probably going to be wrong. So I get a little weary and shaky.
Don't
here.
follow me down this path. Nothing good. Nothing good comes here.